y'all, welcome back to Growing in SA. This is Shamonn, and today I'm going to be finishing up all about the herbs in the garden that I'm growing. We're just going over a couple of more of the herbs and give you what the benefits are, what they're used for, and of course, obviously with any herb or any supplement that you're going to be adding to your diet, make sure that you're checking with your doctor or you're doing your own research to make sure you're not counteracting some other type of drug or something that you're taking. All right y'all, let's get into it. All right y'all, so one of the other herbs that I'm growing is horehound. It's also in the mint family, and it's in this bed along with all of these salvias and a couple of other things that I know, but like I said, in the mint family, things like to run and move and grow, and it spreads. So make sure that you put it in something that's encased. And I have, like I said, I have this brick around here, and it's pretty into the ground, so it may still grow just a little bit more outside of the brick, but for the most part it's been staying contained here. This horehound is, I'm gonna point to it, it's right here. This is horehound. Normally it's used in cough syrups and cough drops. It is a natural remedy for coughing, just like if you would go to the store and buy those Hall cough drops. This has a bitter flavor. You can also use this in tea, but like I said, it's very bitter. You want to add like mint or like regular peppermint or spearmint or something like that in with your tea, just to get rid of that bitter taste, and just a splash of lemon, because lemon or something sour like that gets rid of the bitterness. But yeah, this horehound is white horehound. Is actually pretty good, and it's been used for ages. And I'm gonna zoom in so that you guys can see it a little bit better. You can distinguish it in a garden from mint or any other thing. It has these fuzzy leaves, and it has like little hairs on the stems, sort of kind of how Barge is. Alright y'all, in the second series, this is the second herb that I'm going to talk about, and it's yarrow. So this yarrow plant, as you can tell, is kind of a young plant. I've only had it for a couple of months. I put it in this pot. Just to make sure that I'm able to move it around in the event that it's in an area that I don't want it in, or if it's getting too much sun or not enough sun, I can move it around. Yarrow is another one of those things that you can use it, another one of those herbs that you can use in tea. You want to drink this, well, first you want to put it into your tea pot or your cup, however you want to, whatever you have to use to make your tea. You want to make sure that this is steeped for at least 10 to 15 minutes. This is used to like break fevers, stuff like that. You can also use this in a tincture, and in the tincture you just want to make sure that you are using obviously 80% alcohol, and then put your herb in there. You want 1 part herb and 2 parts alcohol if you're going to be making a tincture. This also can be used in a poultice, and you can use this like on wounds and things like that. It also alleviates any stomach issues that you're having. So you will notice in my garden I have a lot of things for stomach issues. I also have a lot of herbs for inflammation and herbs for coughing and respiratory problems. And that's just for me and my family. I grow the herbs that I know that are going to be beneficial to us in our everyday lives. Again, like I said, you want to make sure that you do your own research to make sure that you're getting herbs and things that are going to agree with your body, and not counteract any medications that you're taking whether they be over the counter or prescription. Yarrow, what I think I'm going to be using this one for whenever I think it's ready to be used, I can trim it back. What I'm going to be using it for is I'll probably be putting that into some type of oil, letting it sit for 4 to 6 weeks, and then I'll probably be using it in lotions or salves or something like that, and of course dry it for tea. Alright y'all, this next herb is sage. As you can see, my plant is struggling a little bit because it's out here in the cold. I did put some leaves down at the base, but you know, the squirrels have been coming over here trying to dig. That can also be another problem, is that they're digging down below my sage plant and probably disturbing the roots just a little bit. Let's look at this sage, y'all, and let me tell you a couple of benefits and uses for the sage. Sage can also be used in your tea. You always, well, for me, I like to use it in combination with some other herb, because I find that sage is kind of like potent. It is not a taste that I like by itself, and y'all probably thinking I'm weird because before in the other video I said I love licorice. I do love licorice. That tastes so good to me because it tastes like, well, obviously root beer, those type of things, and that's just the flavor that I like. Sage is not in that category of that type of flavor profile that I like. Sorry, sage. So if I use sage in my teas for anything, I will make sure that it is mixed with something else. Sage is used for, again, digestive problems, stomach issues. If you have a loss of appetite, meaning you can't eat for whatever reason, to get your appetite back, sage is it. It also helps with heartburn, diarrhea, indigestion, the same way mint is used, the same way spearmint is used. That's what this is for. Again, it has other benefits, but again, do your research if you're going to be using it for something. Of course, none of these herbs are going to fully heal, but they are preventative. They help a lot. I'm not going to make any claims because I don't know personally that an herb directly is the result of healing something specifically. Not in my experience. Let y'all see this pot. And this sage isn't in this pot by itself. Normally it fills out this entire pot. This is a 22-gallon pot. So yeah, during the springtime this plant goes wild, and I have plenty of this sage in my herbal cabinet in jars. Alright y'all, so one other herb here is Barge that I'm growing. Barge is one of those herbs that's also used for respiratory problems. It's also used for indigestion, those type of things. You can eat the leaves. Of course, you can use the flowers. This one is not flowering right now. I think mainly because it's been getting too low at night. It doesn't like hot temperatures, but springtime this thing blooms like crazy and the bees love it. The flowers taste a little bit like a mix between cucumber and a not so sweet watermelon. I like the taste of it. The leaves I have not used yet, but I know you can use the leaves. You can use them in tea. Go ahead on and dry them. You can use them in tea. You can use them in tinctures. Like I said, this is a heart healthy type of herb. It's a stomach problem herb, and this herb is very beneficial whether you have it grown in your garden or you can order the leaves, the dried leaves and the flowers on any herbal site. Mountain Rose Herbs is a site that I like to use if I'm not growing something or I can't grow it here. I like to use that site to get any of the dried herbs that I know that I want to use, either my tinctures or my teas. Barge is also very good in the flower specifically. It's also very good in any type of lemonade to give a refreshing taste to it. I love it. I mean, for me, it's a great taste. It's very refreshing. This herb right here, y'all, is Tulsi. It's not looking so hot right now, only because I had to cut it back because it was pretty much dead on the ends and everything from that very cold snap, even though I covered it. But during the springtime, or once it starts to warm up here just a little bit more, this plant will be actually is gonna fill back out and be blooming like crazy, kind of like it is right now. It has a whole bunch of seeds up here at the top, but I don't think that you can grow, actually I think you can, from seeds. If the seeds drop, then I know I'll have some other plants that'll come up. As you can see, there's on this one here, that one, there is still some actual purple flowers left on it. Excuse the chicken jaw, they love to be talking while I'm talking. This Tulsi here, it smells so good. It's good for headaches. I like to use it in any of the tea blends, especially with peppermint, only because those two things kind of open you up and gets rid of your headaches sooner than I think. For me, it works better than taking some type of medication for a headache. Because as I told you before, I'm always drinking tea. So for me, just drinking the tea just to get rid of a headache, and normally I only have headaches due to blood pressure, and yeah, y'all know how it is. All right, y'all, and last but not least, I have this lemongrass here, and everybody knows lemongrass is one of those herbs that you want to use. Normally is used in tea. I haven't used it in anything else except as for smell, for like lotions or salves or things like that. I'll mix in a little bit of lemongrass, and that'll give it kind of this lemony taste without it being too overpowering of the smell of lemon. Kind of gives it a light fragrance. But yeah, so this lemongrass here, I cut it back before the freeze. Normally this is like a very warm weather type of thing, and as you can see, I have leaves all down by the base, and that's just to make sure that when springtime comes, it's able to just pop back up with no problems whatsoever, without it being dead down at the bottom. The only way you know this plant is actually dead or not is by looking at the base of the roots and everything, and then obviously if it's all brown or dried up, it's probably not going to come back. But this one is pretty much fine because there's still a good amount of greenery and it's looking really good. But a lot of people like to use this lemongrass once it gets long and tall, cut it down, and then they will use the lemongrass and make rings out of it. And with those rings, what they'll do is tie it around and make kind of like a loop, and then you put that whole loop inside some hot water. Pour the hot water over however you steep your tea, and use that lemongrass as a tea. All right, y'all, so now we have gone over the herbs that I have in my garden. Just make sure that, like I said before, that you are checking with your doctor to make sure that it's okay to use whatever herbal supplement that you're going to be using, or do your research to make sure that you're not counteracting any over-the-counter drugs or prescription medicine that you are going to be taking from your doctor. And this is just to benefit you and your family. Just make sure that you're always checking, y'all. Of course, thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for watching my video. If you have any questions or you have anything to add on how you've been using any of these herbs or any additional herbs that you're growing in your garden that you think might be beneficial to me, especially if it's something to do with stomach issues or respiratory issues, because my family, we deal with allergies, sinuses, and stomach problems, and of course high blood pressure and diabetes. So just make sure that if you have anything you want to add, make sure you drop them in the comments below, or send me a message. You can also reach me on Instagram, of course. That's where I'm very, very active at. And of course, make sure you like and subscribe, y'all. Subscribe. All right, y'all. Thank y'all. Be blessed.